Okay. Great. Well, I'm here today with my colleague, LJ. I'm Lou. I'm an affiliate coach with FromWithin Coaching, and you are?
I'm Coach LJ.
Okay.
And I'm also an affiliate coach with From Within.
Great.
And yeah, I'm happy to be with you.
Great. Me too. We're on two ends of the country, but connected virtually, like a lot of companies and a lot of employees are these days. So we thought it would be fun for this today to chat about this whole issue about being a remote leader and what some of the challenges are for remote leaders. And I don't know about you, LJ, but I'm beginning to find that there might be a need for good coaching, us in our work as coaches, for leaders that are leading employee groups that are remote. The other thing I'm thinking is, okay, so a lot of people are working remotely right now because of the COVID-19 crisis pandemic we're going through, but my hunch is we're going to be looking at a lot of workers continuing to work remotely because they're reluctant to come back to workplaces, or maybe organizations think, this is a pretty good way to work. It's very efficient, gives people independence. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's spot on. It's on the other hand, it's challenging because although we see each other now,
yeah,
I would prefer to have you in the same room, just to, yeah. I'm a social, like anybody else. I'm a social animal.
Yeah.
And I would like to, to greet you, for instance.
Yeah, truth be told, we've never actually met in the flesh, have we?
No.
Our whole relationship
that would have been taking place. Yes.
Yeah. So I guess when we were kicking around this idea earlier, we thought we landed on 3 C's that might be really critical to be an effective remote leader. We're calling them the 3 C's: communication, connection, and culture.
Yeah.
You agree, right, LJ?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so today, in thinking about this, we decided we would take a deeper dive into this whole issue of communication, and not only regular communication, but critical communication. It seems to be a really critical need right now. Is that what you're hearing, or even anecdotally, not necessarily from clients?
I hear it all the time because everything is up in the air. Mm-hmm. There is all the game plans that were planned for this year, like business plans, marketing plans, they change by the hour.
Yes.
And that means that everybody is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is maybe a little bit lost.
Yeah.
So communication is the most important thing to do at the moment, to reach out and to just ask what's on your mind and how are you doing.
Yeah, use the phrase things are out of control right now. How do you think being an effective communicator helps with bringing some order or to this chaos, or order to what seems to be out of control?
The fact that you communicate with your fellow colleagues or with your employees makes them attached and connected. Mm-hmm. And you also get the opportunity to tune in on their situation.
Yeah, I agree. And we're kind of, we talked about the 3 C's. The second one was connection. And if you're a really effective communicator and you communicate on a fairly regular basis, you're going to be able to help with that connected part, or the idea of being a connected group. But it still has its challenges. Maybe that's another C we should talk about, is the challenges.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, because frankly, in our work as executive coaches, we're finding that being an effective communicator is a skill and a need and a challenge, even without a virus to contend with, and even without remote employees. That's what I've been finding with some of my clients. You know, they want to be good communicators regardless of what's happening, pandemic wise or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the playing field has changed dramatically. So now it even becomes more obvious to be a good communicator.
Yeah. So when you say the playing field, are you talking about just the world of business? Are you talking about how people are working? Because a lot of people are working from home these days. So is that what you mean by the playing field?
Yeah, I think the playing field where you used to play and doing business doesn't exist as you know it, as you knew it.
Yeah.
And then you come at home and maybe you have a family with kids. And maybe you are either a single parent or you are with a partner. You have to manage this whole new dynamic.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and you also want to do your best and to give it all.
Yeah.
But you can't split yourself in two or even three.
Or three. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think it's to expect from people nowadays in this current time to be 100%, maybe 20% active is quite something.
Yeah. It's interesting, you know, helping people through this if both of the partners are working and they have kids at home that they're trying to teach, which, you know, they're helping them with their schoolwork. I have a client like that right now, and it's been interesting to see how she and her partner have communicated about how they're going to do their work, who's got what time slots, and then who's going to help their child. Is that something that either you're experiencing yourself or you're finding it also?
It's you describe it on point. Me and my wife, we have the following routine. I do the children in the morning, and this I do their homework with them. Then we have a lunch ritual together with the 5 of us, and then it's my turn
to work.
I
got it.
And it works. It took a while. It took 2 weeks to find out a schedule and a routine and a rhythm.
Yeah.
And now we're solid.
Great. My hunch is that idea of a rhythm can also apply a rhythm of communication with a leader communicating with their teams.
Yeah.
And when I was thinking about this, it strikes me that leaders would really need to know the people on their team and what's going to resonate with them and what's not. So, for example, frequency. Some literature I've read said, you know, have a 5-minute stand-up meeting every single day.
Yeah.
At least you have that touch point, that touch time every single day. Some people in a work group might say that's overkill. That's too much, you know? So you bring up a good point about a rhythm at home and a rhythm at work and a rhythm in communication, right?
Yeah. I think it's, you and I, you're the queen of strength, may I say.
Yeah, well, and, I love it.
No, I seriously. And one of the things I have is individualization. I think you should, as a leader and as a colleague and as a human being at the moment, touch base with everybody that you want to communicate with. What is their best treatment?
Yes.
How would they like to be frequent?
Yeah. Like you, because of your strength, you see value in getting to know each person on a team as an individual and customizing or, you know, figuring out what style is going to work best for each time. Like some people would just say, you know, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Give me the high points. The other thing that I read is sometimes work groups get together, even in a virtual world, and make decisions and then forget to inform other people that are part of that remote work group just because they weren't on that call,
Yeah.
you know, or they weren't on that Zoom meeting. And so you go ahead and you start making decisions. Somebody, hopefully the manager, has to be aware of the other people, you know, that are in that sphere. So they might be impacted by it, or they might feel left out. I mean, that could lead to senses of isolation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as a coach, what do you think are our challenges or our responsibilities are in terms of guiding clients to be great communicators as a virtual leader?
Ooh. I think when you want to guide everybody and yourself through this, and this will continue for a while, the best thing is to be nimble and to have everybody's wishes granted in a way that they are treated the best, and so that they can thrive in this world. Mm-hmm. Because you want, at the end of the day, you want people to perform to their best abilities.
Yeah. Given these challenging circumstances.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And a challenging future. We don't even know what that looks like. So I have a feeling that there's value in helping our clients or helping coach people to around this issue. Yet another C, the idea of clarity, clarity of communication. So because we're not communicating physically together, so we can't see each other's body language. We can't just hop up and well, I suppose if you have a tool like Slack, you can kind of do this, but to be really, really clear about expectations, about what's going on. And again, going back to your point about individualization, knowing who needs a little bit of extra push when it comes to clarity, and who's okay, you can be pretty vague and they'll get it and they'll move ahead. So, so it's...
Or like, what can you do to make life for your employees more bearable?
Yeah.
And it's the small details.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the clarity delivered with compassion, another C. So because they're sort of having a lot of empathy for how uncertain these times are, and how, to your point about being nimble, some people are going to be better at that than others. And maybe this does go back to strengths work, like knowing that some people are more hesitant. You remember the deliberative strength. If you have someone on your team who's deliberative, it's going to take them a little bit of time to perform with that nimbleness that you're looking for. And you got to respect that and understand it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You know, LJ, I think we both have positivity, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how are you finding that to be useful in helping guide a remote leader?
Well, for me, it's all, for me, positivity in this case would be possibilities. So and also, what can you do to make it, maybe in the world of your control, a better world? Mm-hmm. Like, in how can I support you to in this communication new age, so to say?
Yeah.
How can I support you to be at your best? And then, do you need a babysitter, for instance? How can we arrange it that you are able to do the things you need to do and feel good about it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely a time for flexibility and not being really rigid in terms of, I don't know, availability or, you know, really understanding that for a lot of people, this uncertainty can create a lot of anxiety, and people can be really anxious, and then therefore have difficulty doing their best work, you know? So That's a really good point about being open to what employees need, a leader being open to what employees need in order to have them be most effective.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I heard somebody told me that all this, what I said, the business plans and the marketing plans and everything was like sorted.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, now we need cash flow.
Yeah.
Now we do this.
Yeah.
Now we need to grow. Now we do that.
Right.
It's all, the dynamic is in itself a new dynamic.
Yes.
And it's changing every day and every moment.
I know.
So what you need to do as a leader is be a beacon for your people, and that they know that they can, and where they know it is like you're a rocky boat, a very rocky boat, but there is somebody where we can watch to and watch for and has our back.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And keeping with your metaphor of the rocky boat, being a really effective communicator to talk about, you know, the buoys that are ahead, the rocks that are ahead, the path or the navigational path that we're going to follow. So, you know, if you're out on a boat and you're navigating stormy seas, you want someone at the helm that you trust, that is going to be decisive when necessary, is going to collaborate when appropriate, but keeps the ship moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, yeah, great. Good. Well, I look forward to what the three, stay on our theme of the 3 C's. We dove a little bit into communication. Our next one would be talking about connection. Like how, as a remote leader, how do you maintain connection when you're managing folks that aren't necessarily connected to you by the door of your office or the cafeteria down the stairs, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I look forward to having that conversation with you about connection, and then perhaps we can explore culture too, because culture when working remotely is likely being impacted. So it's important.
It's under pressure.
Yeah. So
yeah,
great. Well, good chatting with you, LJ. I enjoyed it.
So did I, Lou. Thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye.
Bye.